I have a question for you. What is a piece of musical gear that blew your mind? Have an answer? Write it down below in the comments section. I'd love to read it. Here's a piece of gear that blew my mind. It's the Digitech Expression Factory. The Digitech Expression Factory was a part of the Factory series by Digitech. This series was super forward-thinking with Digitech's usage of DSP chips and having different sounds in a given pedal. But we're not going to talk about the series today. Rather, we're going to talk about the Expression Factory. And we're going to talk about what this pedal is, why I like this pedal, who this pedal's for, and then afterwards, I'm going to write a song utilizing as many sounds from this pedal as possible. It's going to be a really fun video and I'm really excited to do this. But first, I just wanted to say thank you. Kolji just hit 1,000 subscribers last week, and I'm so grateful to every single one of you who subscribe to the channel or just watches these videos. It really means a lot to me, and I can't thank you enough. I have a lot of cool videos in the works right now that I'm super excited to share with you all, and I'm really excited to help grow this community even more. But now let's get into the video. So what is this pedal? Well, it's a bit confusing because of the name. The name is Expression Factory, which may make you think that it's just an expression pedal, which typically just controls another pedal's function or one function on another pedal. But it's totally not that at all. It's a multi-effects pedal built into an expression pedal enclosure. This pedal has distortion sounds, whammy sounds, wah sounds, rotary speaker sounds, the space station sounds, not the actual space station, the Digitech space station, Univibe sounds. There's so many different sounds in here. On top of all the different multi-effects sounds, this pedal also has a cab simulator built into it, which is really cool and really ahead of the time. And believe it or not, this pedal predates the Line 6 M series, Strymon pedals, and all those other pedals. The Factory series and this pedal really laid the groundwork for those companies. Even though essentially this is a multi-effects pedal, this is probably the most unique multi-effects pedal I've ever seen. Most multi-effects pedals from companies such as Line 6, Strymon, Source Audio are in an actual pedal enclosure. This multi-effects pedal focuses more on pedals that are controlled by an expression pedal, like a wah-wah or a whammy. So those sounds work really great with this enclosure. And this is where the pedal really shines compared to other multi-effects pedals, because you don't need to buy an expression pedal. Having everything built into an expression pedal saves you room on your pedal board for other specific sounds that aren't controlled by an expression pedal. The expression pedal also works really great for the flanger sound. It kind of works as like a morphing function, which I really like as well, so it really is versatile. This pedal does have overdrive sounds built into it, but honestly, I don't think anyone bought it for those sounds at all. They bought it for the other multi-effects sounds. Unfortunately, the Factory series was discontinued years ago, so you won't find any of these units new anymore, but you can find them used. But compared to the other Factory series models, the Expression Factory is definitely the most expensive one. But essentially, that's the pedal. So let's now talk about why I like the pedal. So, why do I like this pedal so much? Well, I've broken it down into 3 reasons, and the first being that it just sounds really good. Even though the technology in this unit is 20 years old now, I think it still holds up really well. And I think it's comparable to every other multi-effects unit out today. My favorite sound though in this pedal has got to be the space station sound, which is based off of Digitech's space station pedal that came out in the 90s, I believe. The sound that the space station makes is really hard to describe. It's partially a delay, it's also an octave sound. It's got a lot of stuff going on. Just listen to it right now. For this sound alone, I think this pedal is worth it, because the original space station units go for a lot more money than this. But the other sounds in this unit also sound really good, and I found that they were really inspiring to play with. I was playing differently than I normally do, I was writing differently, I had a lot of fun with this pedal. This pedal reminds me of my experience with the Boss SY1, which is a synth guitar pedal. It has a ton of different sounds in it as well, and I found it super inspiring. I felt like I just wanted to keep playing guitar and keep messing around with the sounds. I feel the same way with this. It's kind of like a creativity machine. But I do want to say that you don't need to buy gear to feel creative. There's different ways to trigger creativity by changing your routine and that kind of stuff, rather than spending hundreds of dollars on a pedal. So just because a pedal can give you creativity isn't the only way to achieve creativity. Secondly, I'm a huge fan of multi-effects pedals. I love the convenience of them, I love how they save space on my pedal board, and I love the sound of them. All of them are really great nowadays. and this one is no exception to that. It's really nice to save space and have so many sounds built into one pedal, but also they're usually more affordable than buying a ton of standalone pedals, and you get a lot of other sounds with them. And if you're using this pedal for a wah or a whammy sound, for instance, you don't have to put a wah and a whammy on your pedal board. You can just cycle through the presets on this and get the sounds. It's really nice, and I personally really like it. Lastly, I just love this pedal because it's so weird and was such a bold move for Digitech to make. I can't think of any other companies that would make a multi-effects pedal built into an expression pedal. It's kind of silly, but it's also really smart at the same time. The sounds in here are great, and having an expression pedal multi-effects for pedals that use expression pedals is just kind of smart, but I could also see why it didn't catch on with the broader market. The Expression Factory, along with some of the other Digitech pedals of this era, had cab simulators built into them, which is insane to think how ahead of their time Digitech was. The first standalone amp or cab simulator pedal that I can remember was the Strymon Iridium, which came out in 2019. These pedals came out in 2005, which is absolutely crazy to think about. But if you know anything about Digitech and their history, they were always ahead of the curve. Whether it was the whammy, the space station, they were always pushing guitar pedals into new uncharted territory. I really think that Digitech walked, so companies like Line 6, Maris, Chase Bliss, all of them could run. I wish Digitech would make more pedals like the Expression Factory and the Space Station, because I think they would do really well in today's market, where weirder and more unconventional pedals are a little bit more accepted than maybe in the 1990s. So the time has finally come. It's time for me to write a song using this pedal. I'm going to try to use as many different sounds from this pedal as possible. I don't know how many I'm actually going to be able to use, but if I can use all 7 or 8 counting the distortion sounds, I'll be really happy. I'm going to try my best to record the settings on this pedal, but if not, I'm going to write the settings on the screen so you know what I'm using. So right now I'm using the Space Station sound, and one thing you have to consider when you're using it is that if you're using it for more volume swell kind of sounds like I'm using it for, you have to kind of play to the delay sound and to the click. So what I mean is if the click is on 1, you have to play a beat or so early to strum it so it hits 1. So right now I'm just going to put a very basic drum sound in, just like a 4-on-the-floor beat, just so I can kind of hear how everything's working. Not that. This is not at all what I want, but I'm just going to use it. I'm just going to stick with that for now, and then we're going to kind of build. So the next sound I'm going to add here is kind of a wah sound, but I'm trying to use it more as a filter rather than a... I like those wah sounds, but personally right now, that's not the vibe of this song. So I'm trying to just use it as a filter that kind of just gradually increases. You hear it open up. Just for that sound alone, the pedals still kind of pedal is worth it for that. That sounds so cool. So far I've used the whammy, a wah, there's 2 wahs in here, so that counts. Flanger, rotary, speaker and a unit vibe, and the space station. So I've used 6 out of 7 sounds already, technically all 7, but I'll have to find another wah setting for this, which I'm sure I'll be able to find. And then, yeah, there's a few distortion sounds as well. This is going pretty good. Quite a few different sounds in here. Alright, so now I have a fairly strong foundation for my song. So what I'm going to do is re-record some of the parts and create a new drum part, and you're going to hear it right now. So, who is this pedal for? In my opinion, this pedal is for someone who loves multi-effects pedals and wants to have a multi-effects pedal that models pedals that use an expression pedal. Pedals like wahs, whammies, rotary speakers, those kinds of things. If you're interested in a wah or a whammy sound but only have room for one expression pedal on your board, this would be a great unit for that, because all you have to do is cycle through a preset to get to that sound. This pedal is really well built and would work well live in my opinion, but only if you use 1 or 2 sounds live. You can connect a foot switch to it, but honestly if you want multiple multi-effects sounds at once, get a Line 6 M9. It's cheaper than this used, and you could probably get 2 of them honestly for this price, and they sound really good too, and you have a ton of functionality with them. I will say though that this pedal is great for home use and for recording. Having the expression pedal built into the pedal is really great for controlling different parameters of the settings. It's really cool to use and you can be super creative with it. Now would I rock one of these on my pedal board? Yes, but I'd have to have a specific purpose for it. Whether it was my wah and my space station sound, or just my space station sound, or something like that. It's not something that I'd have for 7 different sounds live. It's a 1 and done or 2 and done kind of pedal, in my opinion personally. But now I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried this pedal? Would you use it on your pedal board? Do you hate this pedal? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below and let's have a discussion. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out a ton and I appreciate every single one of you's support. But anyways, thank you again for watching. I'm Kolji and I'll see you in the next one.